Video games take skill, persistence, and time, and we're busy people, so can you blame us for using the occasional cheat to get ahead?
The hospital administrator isn't cheating.
Well, yes, it turns out you can blame us, particularly if you're the video game that we're currently cheating in, as you'll find out when you check out these 7 times video games knew that we were cheating and roasted us senseless for it. Enjoy!
I was wondering if you'd wander over here to test your luck. It's hard to resist the rattling call of the dice, isn't it?
As you make your way through Jade Empire, your young martial artist with a mysterious destiny is inevitably drawn to the scenic Imperial City. In the heart of the Imperial City lies the Imperial Arena, where citizens enjoy the wholesome spectacle of watching prize-fighters beat 7 bells out of each other.
Since my wife left me, I've had a lot more time to track the trends in the ring.
Here at the Imperial Arena, your most important business is to discover that they are running short on prize fighters and to get recruited as a rookie fighter.
You must be here to join the most glorious contest in the Empire.
Then, in role-playing game tradition, your task is to fight your way up through the ranks to become champion, defeating crowd-pleasing opponents such as this dude, and these dudes, and this ogre, and a stone statue. Boy, you folks really are short of fighters, huh? If you take a moment between bouts at the Imperial Arena to catch your breath, you can also take up a sideline business as a professional gambler, because there's a gambling enthusiast here above the arena who has set up his own dice game.
Gambler Daoshen's the name.
For a man who loves gambling so much it's in his name, Gambler Daoshen's game is ultra basic. You bet whether you're going to roll a dice higher or lower than his.
Let's see how they fall, shall we? You called it right. A high roll doubles your wager. Let's say we try again.
This is the point where a careful gambler walks away with their winnings. Or if you're in a video game where you can save any time you like, this is the point where you walk away, save your game, then proceed to go back and bet again, saving every time you win and reloading every time you lose.
You called it right. A high roll doubles your wager. You called it right. A high roll doubles your wager. Rolling low and winning large. You called it well.
In this way, you can save scum your way to incredible riches. Or you could, if the game wasn't paying close attention to your suspiciously good luck. At the point where you win against Gambler Daoshen 20 times in a row, the game figures this incredibly unlikely run of good luck is proof that you're a massive save-scumming cheater, and this happens. Wow, I mean, it seems pretty harsh that Daoshen got exploded because I was cheating, but I take your point, Jade Empire. No more bet fixing. Besides, I've got a better idea. Hey, final boss of Jade Empire, can I interest you in a friendly game of dice? I guess not, I had to ask.
Crash! Coco! Store the pretty crystals! Tiny, take them back! In Gladiator Arena!
The third Crash Bandicoot game, Crash Bandicoot Warped, introduced a time travel element into the series, presumably born out of Naughty Dog's wish to jump forward in time to the point where they were making Uncharted and Last of Us games instead of yet another sequel about sassy bandicoots.
Defeated again! This is not fair!
Throughout the game, you travel to various points throughout history, including ancient Egypt, dinosaur times, and ancient Rome, the location of a memorable boss fight where you square off against recurring villain Tiny Tiger in the Roman Colosseum. While historians disagree on how exactly gladiatorial contests would have played out during the height of the Roman Empire, Crash Bandicoot Warped presents a compelling argument that they involve the Retiarus, or Trident Gladiator, bunny hopping around the arena and occasionally releasing, like, 30 lions. While the bunny hops are easily avoided, the stampede of lions is trickier to deal with. That is, unless you abandon your dignity and cheese the encounter by placing yourself in the top left corner of the screen where the lions can't actually touch you. If If you were curious to see if this cheaty exploit still worked in the remastered Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, however, then I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that yes, the exploit still totally works and you can still cheese the boss fight by standing in the corner. The bad news is that the game now knows exactly what you're up to, and as punishment for your cheesing tactics, the crowd will pelt you with literal pieces of Swiss cheese from the stands, leaving you in no doubt as to how the game feels about your cheating ways. On the plus side, the Romans have now invented cheese, an important historical milestone we can now take at least some credit for. Man, history is fascinating. Thanks, Crash Bandicoot.
There are few action heroes more memorable than Indiana Jones. That battered leather jacket, the famous high-crowned, wide-brimmed fedora hat, and most memorable of all, his iconic signature weapon, a near-vertical high kick. Pretty sure that's right. Developer Taito's take on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for the NES certainly emphasised kicking Nazis in the face from a standing start, but it also tried to recreate the movie's globe-trotting hunt for clues to the location of the Holy Grail, the chalice that, according to legend, caught Jesus' blood at his crucifixion. The difference between the movie and the game, however, is that as Indy, you can tackle many of the events of the film in any order you like. Ultimately though, you're supposed to visit each location to collect such clues as a charcoal rubbing of the shape of the correct grail. Regardless of the order you choose, the game plays like a highlight reel from the film, with a dramatic motorcycle chase, a thrilling fight atop a tank, and the daring rescue of your emotionally distant father that represents the true core of the movie. Alternatively, after the first couple of missions, you can sack all this adventuring off, fire up a walkthrough guide, and just head straight to the Grail Temple to grab the Jesus Cup, without ever collecting the clues. And while yes, the game will acknowledge that you did indeed choose wisely, the 700-year-old Grail Knight will rag on you for not rescuing your dad or your friend Marcus Brody, deeming you not yet worthy of the Grail. Not yet worthy? Have you seen my high kick? I rest my case.
All the way back when you played the very first Fable game, you might have picked up a quest named Hidden Booty Hunt. Molyneux, you rascal, you might have thought, and then set out to complete said quest.
Ah, you have found your first treasure clue. Rumours abound that an item of value lies hidden somewhere in Albion.
Only then you found the booty in question was a more conventional quest reward. Not only that, but it was apparently hidden at the end of an elaborate treasure trail, and you would have to obtain a series of clues by doing a series of other quests in order to discover the location of the treasure.
The clues should lead you to it. I understand there are 6 of them in all.
I don't have time for this, you might have thought. Not here in 2004, where Season 1 of Lost just started on TV, Shrek 2 just came out on DVD, and I have to put on all these Livestrong bracelets. I've got stuff to do. So naturally you went online and looked up the location where the booty was buried, and travelled straight there, like a hero who values their time, and can't wait to find out what that smoke monster on the island is. The good news was this actually worked, and you found the hidden booty. The bad news was the hidden booty turned out to be an old frying pan. The even worse news was this old frying pan could have been an exceptionally powerful weapon.
So you found the treasure despite not having all the clues. I hope you'll find some use for your prize.
Because the game knew you hadn't completed the proper quests to track down the treasure legitimately, it nerfed what would have been a mighty pan-shaped melee weapon with 5 augment slots into an ordinary pan that had no slots and did 0 damage. In this way, Fable 1 taught us that cheaters never prosper, and the best that cheaters can hope for is a useless frying pan. Speaking of, why did someone bury this frying pan? And why does it have an indentation in the shape of a human face? We can only deduce that this was the murder weapon in a gruesome unsolved murder, and the murderer was trying to hide the evidence. And here's me with my fingerprints all over it.
All right. Elias has...
Stop, fellow!
Stab Fellow has vanished into the darkness beyond the tower door. The only sign of him is his blood trail. But as you watch, the flagstones seem to drink in the blood, the cracks glistening red.
Oh, Jesus Christ on a stick, Abigail.
Don't be such a baby. We either head through the door...
Well, forget that, it just ate our warrior.
Prey is set in an alternate timeline in which JFK wasn't assassinated, which has made some pretty big changes to the world. For a start, we have vast, beautiful Art Deco space cities, horrible shadow monsters lurk in every corner, hungry to kill, and neuromods allow humans to learn new skills instantly. Wait, what was that second one again? One thing that hasn't changed, however, is nerds, who are still nerding it up, even if they're now doing it in space. That's the premise of the game's optional treasure hunt side quest, in which your character, Morgan Yu, has to find 4 treasure maps given by one Abigail Foy to her Talos 1 Dungeons & Dragons group. Each of the maps that you find gives you the information you need to deduce one of the numbers of a 4-digit code that will unlock a reward in Abigail's room, which, if you're playing fair and square, is a chipset for Morgan's suit called the Adventurer's Toolkit, which increases your recycler yield, gives you a higher critical hit chance with the wrench, a more efficient flashlight, and faster movement speed when crawling through tight spaces. Or, as Angela puts it in the description, everything you need for a successful dungeon excursion. Nerd! Of course, finding and following 4 treasure maps is a time-consuming process, so there's always the option of just looking up the correct combination on the internet and being done with it. I mean, we are supposed to be destroying an alien threat to humanity here. Probably the LARPing can take a back seat. Well, no, it can't actually, because if you try to enter the correct combination before you're supposed to know it, Prey will know that you haven't come by it by legitimate means, and as such, there's a different reward waiting for you in Abigail's room. Instead of the Adventurer's Toolkit, you instead find yourself as the not proud owner of the Game Master's Ire, a different chipset that essentially does the exact opposite of its good counterpart, reducing your recycler yield, balking your flashlight, and making you slower at crawling through gaps. What's worse is that it's permanent, giving you the rest of the game to ponder your misdeeds in trying to take a shortcut because you were too busy trying to save Earth or whatever. Say what you like about the fairness and effectiveness of this punishment, but Prey knows what its priorities are, and you know what? I respect it.
After what could be charitably described as a patchy record and hitting rock bottom with the legendarily rotten Nintendo 64 game, it's been a while since Superman has starred in a video game all of his own. His most recent outing was way back in 2006 in the Xbox 360 game Superman Returns. After how bad some of the previous games have been, that title sort of sounds like a threat. Superman Returns wasn't much of an improvement, unfortunately. It was a movie tie-in that contained barely any of the spectacular moments or impactful plot points from the film, instead featuring the Man of Steel flying endlessly around a mostly lifeless metropolis. Kind of ironic, because with Supes himself invincible, it's only the city that actually has a life bar.
We'll never contain it!
Wow.
Thanks a million, Superman.
It's your job to zip around eliminating threats to Metropolis, using Superman's famous powers, and upholding truth, justice, and the American way. Though we reckon vandalising a burger restaurant is pretty much the exact opposite of the American way. When you get bored of this, and you will get bored of this, you might decide to dabble with some of the game's many cheat codes, which allow you to spice things up with extra costumes, new moves, and a Metropolis invulnerability cheat that means you can have this whole thing wrapped up in a couple of hours. That one is the best one.
I asked the question, does the world still need Superman?
The thing is, Superman's A, not big into dishonesty, and B, super judgy about absolutely everything. To reflect this, the first time you activate any of the cheats, you'll instantly receive a 0G achievement called Not That Super. An achievement that will brand your gamer card for all eternity with Superman's disappointed face. Yeah, well, you know what, Superman? That's the face I've been pulling the whole time I've been playing this game. So we're even.
I'm still not getting anything, Doctor.
Again, clear! Live, damn you, live!
Doctor, we've lost him.
Damn. So, you want to go out for a drink?
Afterlife is a 1996 God game from LucasArts in which you are tasked with building and maintaining a heaven and hell to punish and reward the people of a nearby planet. It's like if SimCity also let you punish wicked souls for all eternity, which, come on EA, it's about time.
Strictly on the QT, Your Excellency. This imported labor is ripping you off.
While it might sound fun, determining the ironic punishments dished out in your own personal good place neighborhood, in actual fact, you don't get to do any of that stuff.
With all due respect, Your Immenseness, Hell's punishments are a downright mess, at least in terms of workforce alignment.
Instead, your role is as a post-life town planner because Heaven and Hell need infrastructure, apparently, and LucasArts has decided that all these roads and buildings and reincarnation centers aren't going to build themselves, despite that totally being a thing that they could have decided does happen.
It appears that neither Heaven nor Hell are evolving as well as they could, Your Humongousness.
In the game, you're constantly managing your finances, which are based on the Afterlife currency, pennies from heaven. Of course, if you've ever played a sim management game, you'll know that a lack of funds is a problem that can usually be easily solved with a cheat code, and Afterlife is no exception, containing as it does a code that instantly grants you 10 million pennies from heaven, which I guess translates to $100,000 from heaven. Afterlife has its eye on you, however. Use this code more than 5 times and the game will decide that it's had enough and dispatch an honest-to-goodness Death Star from the Star Wars films to come and wreck up your eternal paradise. Which, I mean, if I'm in hell, I get it. Ironic punishment for all those mean Reddit posts I made about the Phantom Menace, but what if this thing makes it up to heaven? That's supposed to be their eternal reward. That's it, I'm going to complain to the management. Oh wait, that's me. I am doing a bad job. Thanks so much for watching this video about the times that video games roasted us for having the nerve to try and cheat at them. If you're after more of this sort of thing, then check out the video at the top here, that's from us, more of this kind of thing. Or, if you'd like something from Outside Extra, which I can heartily recommend, then click on the video underneath. Tell them Andy sent you. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.